Hey guys, welcome back. I have been tagged. I actually didn't know about this. I was trying to catch up on videos, and I watched one of Hippy's videos, and where he had got tagged, and I didn't know I had been tagged until I watched his vid on it. Uh, so thank you, Tom, for that. Uh, Before I forget, there's two guys I want to tag. Now I don't know if I kind of scouted around, and I don't know if they've been tagged yet, but from their activity on their videos, I haven't seen it. But if you have been tagged, okay, fine. So consider yourself tagged again if you have been tagged. But I want to get Garrett at Comic Guy Rules, one of our great YouTubers from Canada. When I seen the guy's got a great, diverse collection, and I want to tag Schmo Daddy. Same thing. Guy's got a great, diverse. Kind of reminds me kind of my collection because the dude collects everything, and grade is no matter to him. So I want to get Comic Guy Rules and Schmo Daddy. Now, like a lot of YouTubers, I mean, I've been reading comics for a long time. uh, Probably 45, probably since I could read. So probably like 45 years plus. And seriously got into comics. It's probably 40 years. A serious collector, and it is really hard for me to shave it down to four creators, either writers or artists or whatever. So I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I've actually kind of for like my first choices, there's going to be like two artists tied, and then for my second choice, two artists tied, and then I'll have a couple more guys. So sorry, I know this is against the rules, but I've just read so much stuff, and there's just so many artists and writers that I love. It's just really I can't shave it down to four. So first two guys, pretty obvious to a lot of people. So and I'm going to kind of go by genres, maybe a little bit on this too. But when I started out, I was into superheroes, and later on I got into horror and sci-fi and that kind of stuff. So one of the obvious choices to me, the King, Jack Kirby. It was one of those things. I didn't love Kirby's stuff at the beginning. I thought it was kind of blocky and cartoony because I had seen some of the other artists work beforehand, like Kurt Swan and John Romita and people like that. But there's just something about Kirby that stuck with me. And pretty soon I was like, wow, I mean, the pages just kind of jumped right out at you. I mean, the guy's storytelling, there's nothing about Kirby that I can say that hadn't already been said. I mean, the guy was just a master. All these concepts and comics he created is just amazing to me. Some were great hits, and some were, maybe misses, but I can't really look at any Kirby comic and find any fault with it. Like I said, some of his DC stuff, some of the Marvel stuff, just awesome. And my favorite of all time. And oh yeah, I read a comment from a Sleepy Reader 666 Damien, and I didn't even know this was going to be out, but they're going to actually have an artist edition Jack Kirby on Commandy. IDW's putting it out. It'll be out in May. So thank you, Damon. If you were here, I'd give you a big hug. But thanks for that, buddy. And yes, I will be getting that book. There's no being tempted about it. That book will be mine. So Jack Kirby, also tied for first in my book, is Joe Kubert. I mean, the guy drew comics for 70 years, and I mean, he was in his hospital bed with his drawing board, last reports I heard, before he passed, and it was a great loss, just like Kirby's loss. But, the guy was just like a master of war comics, Tarzan, Thor, superheroes, he did a lot of horror covers. I mean, the guy just did everything. Just not enough good things I can say about him. Of course, everybody knows about his run on Tarzan. Now, this was some of the first stuff I saw of Kubert's, and I think the first one I had was like one of those big DC treasuries, where it reprinted like the first 3 or 4 issues that Kubert did for DC. after they got the license to do Tarzan. Of course, everyone knows about Tor. I think I just showed this in the last video. One of his original characters. Great stuff. Here's the DC special about Joe Kubert. Featuring a lot of his work. Okay, here's a cover he did for Showcase. Nightmaster. And this is one of my favorite war covers that he did. And some more war stuff. Really cool Enemy Ace cover. And if you really want to see his stuff, just how beautiful his artwork is, you need to see it in black and white. And this is, I think this is a collaboration he had with an Italian writer, and it was a character, I guess, that had been going a while in Italy, and just by the name of Tex. And this is all in black and white. So you can really see the detail of his work. You know, and like Kirby, when I first saw it, I was like, you know, this stuff is kind of scratchy looking. You know, it's not real slick like some of the other artists I saw, but just something about it. And like Kirby, the guy's storytelling is just top notch. I mean, you know, I just love his stuff. Okay, now tied for second. Like I say, I'm cheating here, but one of the first artists I noticed when I was reading comics was Mike Grell. And I think it was like on a Superboy comic, something like that. But I just love his stuff. You know, here he is on the Longbow Hunters. I think all these I'm showing I've got autographed by him a couple of years ago. Yeah, but I mean, guy had just great detail and lush line work, and another great storyteller. There's some of his Superboy stuff. Grell on Batman. And one of my favorite covers is the reintroduction of the Justice Society in All-Star Comics, number 58. Just love anything he does. Of course, you know what he did on Warlord and Sable, and the stuff he did for Image, like Shaman's Tears and Maggie the Cat, Bar Sinister. Some of the stuff he's doing now, like he's doing a series called Pilgrim. Yeah, I just love Mike Grell stuff. Also tied for second. Anybody that watches my videos knows I'm a big team book fan. Justice League, Avengers, you know, New Teen Titans, and this is the guy that really put the oomph in team books for me. I mean, there's like detail in every panel. There's something to look at. There's on Titans. Crisis on Infinite Earths. You know, everyone that's a Perez fan has read this and seen this. This is the guy that really did it for me as far as team books. He's run on the Avengers, JLA. I mean, he's done every team book imaginable. Great stuff. And here's some more Perez. Here's the JLA Avengers. I think there's like between 550 and 600 characters he drew for this story. I mean, it's just amazing. Okay, now the other two guys, like I said, this is kind of a genre thing. But, you know, before I got into superheroes, you know, I read all the stuff like the Harvey and the Archie stuff, and I think my cousins first. I've got 3 cousins. They're all sisters, and they were a little bit older than me, but they always had like a stack of Archie comics, and you know, I'd always used to go up their house and read their books and all that. But the guy that really, one of the guys that really stood out for me, and I really didn't know what the guy's name was until, you know, the age of the internet came along and I started researching it. But one of my favorite artists of all time, a guy named Sam Schwartz, and this guy had the he had the look for Jughead. Anybody that's read Archie comics, especially older guys, I mean, you recognize his artwork immediately. I mean, he is the Jughead artist. So, got some great stuff there. And him, along with another guy named Harry Lucy, were like two of my favorite artists of all time on the Archie stuff. So you got Jughead here. Got more Jughead. And it just had the, he could just do so much with so little. If you go back and read a lot of his stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. Here's another book. This book's actually signed by Craig Boldman, and he is the writer for the Jughead comic right now, and he's also a great artist. And I've met the guy and talked to him a couple times at a con, and he is a huge Sam Schwartz fan too. So he signed this one for me to another Sam fan from Craig Boldman. So a little odd choice, but And another guy that I think doesn't get a whole lot of recognition, and I love his stuff. He did a lot of work for Warren. He did a lot of work for DC in the horror genre. I'm not sure if he did much work for Marvel. This one guy, I just love his stuff. It's really kind of offbeat, but it's real stylistic. And it's Alex Nino. Here's an adaptation he did of Theodore Sturgeon's More Than Human with Doug Mensch. And if you go through like a lot of the 70s horror books like House of Mystery and Unexpected, House of Secrets, that kind of thing, you'll see a lot of Alex's work. Here's a little booklet I found on eBay a while back. Alex Nino, This Is My World. This is actually autographed by Alex Nino, but I just love his work. Yeah, sometimes you don't need words. This guy's stuff is just amazing. And there are dozens and dozens of other great artists, from the 40s on up through now. And I could go on and on about, Steve Ditko and Bernie Wrights and Gil Kane and John Buscema and John Romita and Marie and John Severin and Dick Dillon and Kurt Swan. And I might throw this into, I've been going through my Charlton books. Another guy that I love, Tom Sutton. Did a great run in the old Planet of the Apes black and white magazine Marvel put out. So I just want to throw it plug in for Tom, for all you Tom Sutton fans. Yeah, I know I kind of cheated and just kind of rambled on a little bit, but those are my favorites. And Tom, thanks once again for tagging me. Guys, thanks for watching, and onward and upward.